Do you like how you look, or do you look like you're now evil?
I'm perfect.
Are you?
No, I'm good.
Oh my God, I am not unhandsome. Yeah. Here we go. You're listening to the Tom Kelly Show, the home of personal growth and fun. Is your life where you want it to be? Well, my name is Tom Kelly, and I'm a stand-up comedian who you've seen on Good Morning America, The View, America's Got Talent, and my life is a mess, but I'm fixing it up so you don't have to. This is the podcast where we take the existential crisis and turn it into a renaissance. Think of this journey as an inappropriate TED Talk. If Letterman had a baby with Oprah, you'd have the Tom Kelly Show. New episodes guaranteed on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays across the board. I am Tom Kelly Show on social media. And if you like the show, share it with a friend. And you know what? I'm going to share this podcast with a friend. He's right here with me. Let's start.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
Trigger warning, spoiler alert. Good God, please, would some of my friends listen to this show? You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. If you are watching on YouTube, this is going to be a experiment. Actually, this may not even wind up on YouTube. I am here with my friend Warren Young, a high school buddy whom I've talked about on the podcast before. And, well, honestly, he never heard it because he doesn't listen to the show. But we'll get into all of that in a second. I had a guest scheduled. Her name is Caitlin O'Connor. I'll put her link in the show notes. She is an Instagram model who was supposed to be on the show today. She had a sore throat, and God bless, she could not have had a sore throat at a better time. My friend Warren Young happened to be in town, and Warren, how do I describe Warren? Warren is that friend with whom you always had deep conversations in high school. Many a time. And when I say many, several times in college and maybe one or two in high school, we would wind up at the diner and pontificate about why the beautiful women wouldn't sleep with me and why all the beautiful women wanted to sleep with Warren.
I don't remember these conversations.
It was damn close to that. It was close enough. We can name names later. This is the podcast where we name names. We name names. And Warren was always just a source of humor and gentle kindness. Would you agree with that? Yes?
I'd like to think I'm gently kind and humorous.
Okay. You know what? And I always thought Warren should have been a famous broadcaster. He has, in his life, been a model. Right?
That's truth.
By the way, started the show, looked at himself on the Zoom camera and said, I am not unhandsome.
We can't prove that happened. He's not wrong. This is all factual, but we cannot prove that happened.
He is also a talented musician and now a unlicensed therapist. What do we call what you do exactly? What do we call your brand of psychiatric care?
I am a therapist, an outpatient therapist. Yes. We'll just. Jeez.
Does the government know you're out there?
Yes, people know. I have a number. I'm registered.
Okay, you are registered.
Yes, but I'm not licensed.
Okay.
I'm unlicensed, but I am
unlicensed but registered.
That just felt awkward. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Unlicensed but registered.
What is this registration now, right? Now I'm curious. What have I done to myself? Jeez.
I could go, God, I could probably do an hour just on memories with Warren and good stories with Warren. Warren's one of those guys you don't see enough, but when you do, there's a story. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
By the way, we're trying this on Zoom. I made a 3-camera setup so that I could look at Warren directly, but I find myself just gravitating to my own reflection. I feel like you're having the same problem.
I'm gravitating to your reflection as well. I'm looking at you because you're the handsomest.
I'm not unhandsome.
You too are not unhandsome.
I am not unhandsome. So if this podcast is about me improving my life, let's go back to the humbler beginnings. What do you remember about me in high school?
I remember you being this personality, this energy of just like socialness, right? It was interesting because you were just a regular guy. You didn't try to be anything, super amazing and fantastic. You were just really, really good at being you. And were quirky and honest and sincere, and you were just you. So I think as far as humble beginnings go, I think you were and have always been yourself, which I don't think we see a lot of nowadays. So knowing that it started many, many moons ago and seeing where it is now, I mean, I think you've kind of kept that common thread going.
That's much nicer than some of our other friends would say. Let's just leave that at that. That's the right way to say it.
There's the gentle kindness that he's.
There's the gentle kindness. And I've always talked about with you, where I've always thought you would be a great podcaster. You're a therapist, right? Is that what you call what you're doing?
Yep, therapist.
And you are. You're the kind of person where people just want to tell you problems. Yet you seem even-keeled all the time. I mean, I have seen you mad. I have seen you sad. Sure. But generally, you're even-keeled. What's your secret to being so even-keeled?
I try to remember that things happen, right? Nothing is perfect. We're going to try. We're going to fail. We're going to win. We're going to lose. So kind of holding on to the idea that everything happens. It's cyclic. It's you know, you just kind of go into a thing thinking, this may not work. This may not be great. But I'm going to do it, give it my best shot, and hope for the best.
I like that. I like that.
Thanks.
We talk about whether or not you should be I think you should be a therapist to celebrities. We've talked about this.
Okay.
And I'm only saying this because I like to open up your whole can of Tom, I don't want to work full-time line, which was a jokey line.
It's actually significantly less jokey. It's something that I say regularly anytime I have the opportunity.
Okay. Pause for a second, but I don't want to go down that road while making you seem, I don't want to make you seem lazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make you seem.
Nope, absolutely.
And by the way, this is a podcast ambush. Could you give a quick shout out to Dan Stanton, Karen Ruiz, and Brian Kist real quick? Because I know they listen.
Oh, gosh. Miss you guys. Memories hanging out with Tom and just thinking about you guys. So, yeah. Saying hi from the past. Blast from the past.
You know what? Screw it. I am going to talk straight to I'm talking to my own reflection if you're not going to talk to me.
I'll talk to you. All right.
I don't know, because you're right. It does look awful. Now
That's
it just
what
looks
I was
like,
saying.
Now we look like little, like noses bumping into each other.
This is what I was, right.
All right.
We'll
so
figure it out.
I'm going through this transition.
Okay.
I was working 5 jobs, and I remember distinctly telling you that you don't get ahead unless you're willing to work 5 jobs.
Okay.
And that and you have often used the phrase, I want to work less than 1 job, without saying it like that.
Yep.
Let's start with that.
Okay.
Why?
So the short story is there was a full-time job that I had that I recognized kind of ate at my soul, right? And it's less about the job, more about me and who I am and what I did and how I engage in the work I do. So I'm one of those people that if I'm scheduled for 40 hours, I'll likely be working 60, right? So because kind of to your point of you need to work. You get ahead by working. You put in your hours. You pay your dues. You earn it. You get it. But I recognized that I lost out. I missed out on a lot during those times of me giving everything to my job. Because I'm giving everything to my job, I'm not giving everything to my friends, to my loved ones, to my personal life, my own wellness and health. I missed first annual events. I missed weddings. I missed birthdays.
Right.
So for me, recognizing that I don't want to be locked into a position where I have to figure out how to manage my life around this piece of my life seems silly to me. So I don't ever want to have to schedule like, oh, sorry, I can't attend your wedding because I've got to work a shift.
So it's funny. I gave up not necessarily weddings, but it took a wedding to get me to take a weekend off. But I gave up a lot of weekends, a lot of partying, a lot of, and in some ways it's why I've experienced certain successes.
Sure.
And in other ways, it's probably why I have not experienced certain personal successes.
Sure.
So what was the moment that made you say, I'm sick of working 60 hours a week? Can you say that without getting yourself banned from going back to jobs?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, it was more about recognizing who I was and what I wanted. So you mentioned that I'm a musician. I'm into like arts and such. I recognized that I was no longer creative. Right, this very significant piece of who I was, I could not access because I was working because I had to focus on my job. And I thought about it, I'm like, well, this is not who you are. You can't keep living this life as someone else. So it was really accumulation of, all right, so there's this that doesn't feel great, all these things don't feel great, and what feels great? I can't find it, so I need to make a change. And the one thing that was really governing all of this, I guess, these stunted developments was the fact that I had this job that was taking up a significant amount of my time.
Okay. Now, I've said, and we've had this argument before, that I think having money is the biggest FU to the world, and it's your way of taking care of yourself.
Yep.
You have rebutted with things along the lines of God will provide.
Sure.
I think, you're such a good therapist. I think you should be in an office charging $450 an hour. You're not taking insurance. You're so good at what you do. And you're out helping the poor, helping people who need help.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, you're going to heaven.
Right.
You are. And there's a beautiful nobility to what you do, and I recognize it and am envious of it at certain points.
Okay.
What is your secret to... I guess providing good for the sake of providing good. Also, you're wearing a very fashionable outfit. For those of you not looking at Warren, who is, by the way, not unhandsome. You got your nice hat. You got your hair is perfect as always.
Wow. You are too kind.
If Whoopi Goldberg had a baby with Milli Vanilli, that's what we have here right now.
Both
people.
of them.
With both Millie and Vanilli, or Rob and Faz, whatever it was.
Fab and Rob, yeah.
Okay, and he's, in the perfect, in the dark denim jeans, the dark denim shirt, the Canadian tuxedo, as they say. I don't know. How do you live a great life, do good, and, not push for the big bucks?
So for me, the short is I don't need the money. And I think there is a reality that we collectively don't really consider. I don't know that we need the money that we say we need. I don't know if we need the things that we say we need externally, right? Okay. I need my internal safety and security and strength and comfort and all of those things internally I need. But do I need to have $1 million in my bank account? Probably not. 500,000? Probably not. Would I be okay with it? Sure. But I have enough money to do what I need to do. And I think that's the thing. I think if we took a time and really figured out what our expenses were and what we would need to be comfortable in life, I think it would be okay.
See, I've had a few things where maybe it's just because I've been around so many elderly people.
Sure.
That I've realized elder care costs as much as $200,000 a year.
Sure.
And that's not even the fancy elder care.
Yep.
So I feel like unless I have $10 million in the bank, I feel poor. And what I find that's driving me crazy right now is I'm living on 1/3 of what I was making 2 years ago.
Sure. And
when I was making 2/3 more, whatever the damn math is, when I was making a lot of money, I still felt poor.
Yep. And I imagine that's because you were also fed this narrative of what you should have, what is comfortable, what makes sense.
Well, I was raised, and you're the child and grandchild of immigrants too, is I was raised by people who did not have.
Sure.
Doesn't that mess with your brain?
No, because we didn't have, but we had, right? See, that's the thing. We weren't billionaires, we weren't millionaires, we weren't any major number heirs. We had enough.
See, I think that's a difference between being Jamaican and Italian and Irish.
Possibly.
Not even the Irish. The Irish were kind of pretty chill. But on my mom's side, there was definitely oh my God, we need more. Oh my God, we don't have enough. Oh my God, put it in the bank. There was a hoarder sort of mentality. Not with your, forefathers.
We'll be, I guess, and it's weird.
No,
because
you're right.
We'll be fine. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I mean,
See, that's fun. I think you just hit it. And this is so, there is the stereotype that Jamaicans are laid back, but you talk about the difference between Jamaican, grandparents and Sicilian grandparents. You just said, we'll be fine, is what your grandparents said. My Italian grandparents we're all going to die.
and let's get something straight, right? This is not saying that you should not work. This is not saying that, right? Because I think people would also recognize and see that Jamaicans, West Indians are hard workers, right? So this is not about me being lazy. I appreciate the distinction between lazy and laid back, because I can work hard, I can put in my time, put in my energy, but I'm also it'll be fine.
Okay, now it's just funny. If you listen to this podcast, and we know you don't, I try to find one morsel of wisdom from each person, and I like that line, the difference between being lazy and laid back. I I find I go to lazy, and I'm either lazy or working too much. I have yet to find laid back.
I think I wonder if it's a temperament, right? I wonder if it's because it's how do you look at the things? Like what's important? What's driving you? What's your motivation? And I think that's the difference for me because, Tom, there is a part of me that believes that I'm going to die like alone, like in my house. And this is not to be like morbid or weird, but I'd be comfortable with that, right? Like I don't want to be, kept alive on a machine because I want to reach that, 100th milestone. Like I'm okay with going when it's time to go.
Wait, hang on, Warren. I think one of the things we talk about on this podcast is my quest to find an emergency contact who will sign a DNR for me. I think you're it.
Absolutely.
I think you're it. Right now.
Absolutely.
Right now, my emergency contact is the Staples of Massapequa, New York, because I just remembered a phone number when I need to fill it out. By the way, if anyone else wants to use them as an emergency contact, 516-799-9516. Just put it down. But I think I just like that. I think you have the balls to pull the plug.
If I know that's what you want, absolutely.
Well, do you want someone to pull the plug? Actually, I don't even want to make this too jokey.
Yeah.
But I have always been afraid, like my friend John McCann, who you never met, died at 38. And I said, I have a cousin who died at 23. I always thought, and when we were freshmen, Erica Tegelman died. And I always thought I'd die young.
Okay.
I have gray hair and one gray pube. I never thought I'd live this long.
Okay.
Like, so now it's that, and gets back to the Italian thing. If I need a lot, so that way, what am I going to do at age 50? Am I still telling fart jokes? I'll probably have no money. At least you got therapy as a job skill. And maybe one day you'll take that registration and turn it into a license. By the way, I wanted to say that registered. What do we got to do to get you a license? You're registered. So are sex offenders. Get yourself a license.
There's more to it than that, but noted, definitely noted.
Do you need someone for the driver's test? Can we submit this podcast as a sample of your work? What test are you just not taking?
The licensing test. That's the one
test.
test.
That's what I miss about you right there. That's what I miss about hanging out with you. Right there, the licensing test.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. So I could do this all day with you.
Yeah.
I promised you a short podcast purely because I want to keep the listeners happy.
Sure.
Would you do
Respect
this again with me? I don't even know if we have to do it now or later tonight or air it later in the road, but would you do this again?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like there's more for us to talk about.
You can call me up whenever. You have my number. You have access to me. We can do it whenever.
We could do it over. We have his number. We have his registration number, not his license number. Warren, do you have a social media account my fans can follow you at? Do you even want to give it out at this point?
I wonder who's going to start tracking my socials. No, I actually don't. I'm a Facebook guy, but no, nothing major. So,
okay, so if you want to follow Warren Young, don't.
Right, you can't. I mean, follow
wait a
Tom.
second. Wait, hang on. Last one. How do you not have an Instagram or socials for your would-be fan base as a musician?
Because I do it for me. And I honestly don't know that anybody actually cares. I think I'm okay at what I do. I have a good time doing it, but I don't want to shove this thing in your face and say, here, you're going to love this and follow me. And I don't do it for validation. I do it because it feels good for me.
By the way, if I could shove my socials, folks, Tom Kelly Show, join our secret Facebook group for the Tom Kelly Show fans. Actually, since I now suddenly have this feeling of we're not going to do another podcast.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody.
You're a musician with no following. Intentionally so. That is Keith from the 6th Train.
Huh.
He improvised it with just 20. I only hope this microphone is good enough to capture your huh. Oh my God.
This is fantastic.
Could I force you to improvise something like that if we were to do another show?
Sure.
Wait, hang on. I'll give you a second to listen.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you.
Do you need more?
I mean,
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
to answer your question, I could probably improvise. How about I make you a deal? How about I do something else? How about I put something together for you?
Well, what about right now?
I meant I was going to go and record something formally and properly, but...
Don't say no now, but don't say yes either. All right, that's enough to know. By the way, if I am doing shout-outs, my friend Matt Mariani from college who asked what happened to the theme song.
The Tom Kelly Show.
There you go. All right? That's it, people. If you want to join the secret Facebook group, just ask for a direct link and we'll put you in. I'm trying to get you guys to be friends with each other in that group. Magic mirror time. That's the moment where I see people who listen to the show. I see Ryan. I see Marianne. I see Lisa, who came to see me at Governor's Comedy Club. By the way, I am at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club in the next couple weeks. You could find that at TomKellyShow.com. So much more to talk about, guys, and I guess you're just going to have to listen to it tomorrow. Good night, New York.